Hey guys, I'm back, taking a little break on a nice hike today to take a look at something else that I found for our brothers and sisters that have to live under the knife oppression. It's not going to help everybody, but it's going to help some of them. So this is another knife by Lansky. We already looked at one in their World Legal Slip Joint knife series. It's another designed by Michael Willumsen. Now, if you haven't seen the last one that we looked at from Lansky, I'll put a link in the video description so you can see it. But these are ones specifically made so that folks that live in places that have some real serious knife restrictions can find something that might be, you know, a good EDC for them. And I'm always on the lookout for you guys. I call them all the Queen's subjects because a lot of the places in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada now, a lot of countries in Europe. I know Norway is one, but there's a lot of them where there's some really tough knife laws. And it's hard to get your hands on a good knife that you can actually carry around and stuff. I say carry around legally. I saw this one. I decided to grab it and take a look at it and see if it's something that some of you guys might be interested in getting for yourselves. So here are some quick specs right there. All right. Now, if you want to know the 156 countries, you're going to have to, I don't know where you can find that out, but this is the important part. Contact your local government for the most recent regulation. So you can see right here, we're working with 9CR18 MOV. Not a bad blade steel. It's not crap. It's average. It's not high-end. It is definitely not a hard-use steel, but it's a decent EDC steel. So let's get right into this guy, okay, and see what we got. Now, to do this, we're going to use the amazing pre-production test Black Mamba piece that Off Grid Knives was good enough to send me to mess with. And I cannot tell you how much I love this little guy right now. Unfortunately, this is not legal in 156 countries in the world. Or I should say world legal. Some of the features on this knife are going to keep it out of the EDC hands of a lot of people in the world, but man, I am absolutely loving the Black Mamba. And when it comes out full production style, I'm buying 2 of them. Swear to God. So let's take a look now at what we've got here. It is it's a chunky little guy, isn't it? So you'll notice when we talk about things that might make knives illegal around the world, I've mentioned this before, there are 4 major factors. The first one we're going to look at is the length of the blade. They were careful to make this blade less than 3 inches. It's 2 3/4 inches. So that will make it legal in, well, 156 countries. Now, inside your specific country, your locality might still have some other blade restrictions. But for the most part, 3 inches is a good guideline for an EDC size blade and for the legality purposes of how long an EDC blade can be. The United States is a great example. Across this country, there are some places that have no blade length restrictions. There are some places that have very, very specific blade length restrictions. California, New York, for example. But that's the first factor. The second factor we're looking at is, you'll notice there's no help opening this blade. No thumb studs, no flipper, no hole there for your thumb, so nothing that would make this a one-handed opening knife. In a lot of places, a one-handed opening knife, for some reason, is illegal. So when we're looking at this knife, you actually need to use that nail nick, which I hate. So to open this knife, you actually need to have a hand on the handle, put a hand on the blade, and open it with 2 hands. And that is a big restriction in some places. The third thing we're looking at is that it is a manual opening knife. There is no assistance whatsoever, and you can see when I do that. There's no spring, there's no button you push to automatically open it. Total manual operation. And then finally, there's no lock to engage or disengage. It is a slip joint knife. Locking knives in a lot of places are illegal. Don't know why, don't understand the rationale behind it, but they are. So this knife, with its combination of relatively short blade size, 2-handed operation, full manual, and no lock, is what makes it legal in so many different places. And really, when you think about it, for just EDC purposes, this is kind of all you need. It reminds me a lot of the off-grid Hawkbill Tonto, which is a locking knife, which is a one-handed opening knife, and it is also spring-assisted. So everything that this knife is not. 4-way positionable clip, so tip up, tip down, left or right. Plenty of soup for everyone to go around with this knife, whatever your personal preference is. If you're thinking about carrying this knife for self-defense, well, you know, it's going to be hard to take this out in any speedy manner because your criminal, who doesn't care about the laws anyway, probably has a 4-inch automatic blade. But you can use this, which could be used for breaking glass. It could also be used as a less lethal smash to the temple or pressure points if you know what you're doing with a knife that way. But you've got a nice little lanyard hole in it, so that gives you a little versatility there. And I will also say that no matter what they say this knife is for, it's got some good firm jimping on a good solid reverse grip. So yeah, I'd say that there's some self-defense built into this thing. Weight is pretty good, actually. Now, the handle, naturally the knife is a little small, but the ergonomics of it are good, even though it's a little bit small for my big hands. But those choils that are built in hold the fingers really nicely. Big, aggressive, functional jimping built right in. So I think not only could this be a really good just EDC general knife, but you know, there's utility built into this too. I could see this being a tradesman knife, you know, for example. I could see people using this utility. I could see myself using this in the shop or, you know, on a construction site. Just the blade type, if you... Hi, Tato! There's Tato, guys. If you take a look at the tip, you've got... not quite a hawkbill, but you know, you've got some real function to get that tip in there and do some good cutting. It'd be nice to put a little bit of jimping right there too, just in case you wanted to really choke up and get fine control of that tip, which you could do easily with this knife. The liners in there, I don't know if you can really see in this light, they are skeletonized to help lighten it up a little bit. I found this one on Amazon, price wasn't too bad. Now, shipping it around the world, I don't know what that's going to cost you. Let's go to the cord. Let's do a pull through, which was actually pretty easy, kind of a clean cut. I don't believe this is real 550 cord. Does it have full 7 inner strands? It's very thin for 550 cord, but there they are. Let's do a slice. The slice was really easy. I like that. Let's do it again, just because it was so easy to do. That was no effort. I mean, no effort whatsoever. I was just holding the cord on the blade. I wasn't even pulling, and it just came right off. Unfortunately, I have no paper where I am right now. I just didn't think to bring any with me. But, I mean, tears right through its own package, though. Cuts cardboard really well. Now, have we done any dulling to the blade at all? I wonder. There are some blades out there where just cutting that little cardboard is going to kill your edge. What do we got here? No. Nice and sharp. I've got a... stick over here. Let's see. Not bad. Not bad at all. Some slight challenges getting that properly honed and sharpened, but I mean, nothing too bad if you've got a rod or a small stone to do it. So I think this is a good knife that we can probably recommend to folks suffering under knife tyranny. You know, get these cleaned up so we're not littering the woods. Forgot to mention the centering. The centering is good. I mean, out of the package. Not, yeah, it's just about perfect. So I like this little guy. You're not going to have deep carry options there, but pretty good. So what do you guys think? Those of you specifically that have to suffer through those arcane knife laws, something you would carry, something you like? Well, I'll tell you what, when we do our next big giveaway, this one is definitely included in it. And like I did with the last one, I'm going to ask that only people that live in those crazy knife law places enter to win this one. And you know what? I'll know, because if you win, you're going to have to give me your address. And if it's not a place where there's crazy knife laws, I'm going to skip you and move on to someone else. But anyway, we will definitely make this a giveaway item for one of our friends overseas who has to live in a crazy knife law place. So, your thoughts, guys. What do you think of this Lansky World Legal Knife? Cool? No? Want to carry it? You want one? You guys think? I'm always keeping my eye out for you folks. I promise I am. I know that those of us in the civilized world get to carry a lot of really cool knives, and you guys, well, you don't always get to. So, another option for you folks. And if there's some that you know of that you'd like me to test out, take a look in the video description. Look at all those links. Check out the Patreon one. Big giveaway coming up. Sign up. Get some extra entries. But also, check out the Facebook link for my Facebook page. You can message me there and give me a suggestion for another legal knife to check out, or you can always email me and ask me to look at one there. So, everyone all around the world, no matter what knife laws you have, let me remind you, you are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will be back again real soon.